At Life Food Organic, we offer the most nutritious raw vegan food, including juices, smoothies, and desserts to leave you feeling uplifted. Our knowledgeable staff will help with all aspects of nutrition to guide you toward well-being. Welcome to Life Food Organic, the health food oasis in Santa Monica.
Hi, I'm Phil Brock. This is Brock in Your Block, and today I'm with a longtime Santa Monica resident, Greg Fuller, and we're in Greg's front yard of the Sunset Park area, and we're here on an adventure with an urban gardener. So, Greg, you've been living here a long time,
Right.
and you've done this in your front yard and your backyard. I've seen chickens, I've seen bees, I've seen hummingbirds, I've seen oranges.
We have Swiss chard and the green chard over there.
And cabbages.
Right, cabbage, a little zucchini. We got onions and garlic, and the tomatoes aren't ripe yet.
Tell me about the worms and tell me about your tomatoes growing out of your worm beds.
Right, one of their favorite foods for the worms are tomatoes. So if you get any spoiled tomatoes, anything like that, don't throw it in the garbage. Just bury it in the soil, and you put it in here with the worms, and then the worms will eat. Like here's some apples, whatever. But these tomato plants were never planted. They were from the tomatoes we put in for the worms.
And I see some of the worms there.
Right, because that's all the great.
Now those are smaller than they're earthworms, though, right?
Yeah, those are red worms, and they multiply like crazy.
What's the difference between a red worm and what I used to see when I was a little kid in my backyard?
The regular garden worms?
Yeah, the earthworms.
Right.
Were longer.
Yeah, these.
You can't fish with these.
Well, no, they're kind of small.
Just saying. So you have an herb garden in that square,
Right.
and you said Bourget Brothers helped. You work collaboratively with the chef at the Ocean Park Community Center.
Right.
And you also, when I was here before, you said that you trade vegetables and you have agreements with other home gardeners in the area.
There's other gardeners in this area, and they might grow something. One of them, I don't know if it was mangoes or something, so they'll give me different fruits from their trees, and I grow mostly vegetables, and I'll give them, because I have so much of it, I give them what they want here.
Great, so you get to eat fresh vegetables every day.
Right.
And fruits
Uh-huh.
as well,
Yeah.
and you have fresh eggs from your chickens.
Right.
That's fantastic. So this is an organic garden
Right.
in the Sunset Park area of Santa Monica. And, you know, I walked by your front door last summer
Right.
and knocked on the door, and I found this amazing, to me, garden that I thought was emblematic of what we should be doing in Santa Monica. It's another way to make sure we use homegrown fruits, homegrown vegetables, and we find a way to keep a little touch of a small city in a big metropolis.
Actually, my parents came from Minnesota in 1946, and they parked at a trailer park at that time at Memorial Park, Olympic and 14th. That was a trailer park.
Ah.
And they parked here for a year, and then they bought a house in West LA, and they took the trailer over there and parked it in the alley, and for 10 years, and then in 58, we moved here, and somehow we got the trailer house back.
So you've lived here in this spot
Since
1958.
Right.
That's fantastic. These sunflower seeds you're feeding them, you just said that's their special treat?
Right, anything like that.
And you buy the seeds where?
Rainbow Acres.
So we just plugged Rainbow Acres for our TV show.
Right.
But what's really interesting is these chickens are eating much healthier than I am. What is this?
Well,
And would I eat it?
you probably wouldn't, but most healthy people would eat this kale. I take two.
Well, that just disparages me right away. But go ahead.
You can take a couple leaves and put it in like a smoothie.
What is it? It's kale?
Right, this is the leafy form of kale. This is collard greens that kind of wasn't harvested, so if you let it go to seed,
And they turn to flowers?
it turns to flowers.
And those flowers attract what?
Bees, like honeybees, like you wouldn't believe. So we have probably more honeybees in our yard than anybody else, because we have all these. You can see they're all loaded there.
So, you know, my dad is from the South, so he loved the collard greens, loved the mustard greens, loved all the southern vegetables. But you're saying if you don't harvest them, they become this.
Right.
That's amazing. We found what I treasure the most, part of the fabric of the community, Greg Fuller, in his yard in Sunset Park, and he's doing something that I love. He's so attached to Santa Monica, so attached to our community. He's part of the thread that makes this community work. For Brock on Your Block, I'm Phil Brock.